Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe back with another episode of the Strafing Run, of course designed to keep you up to date on a fairly regular basis. And in the last Strafing Run, I kind of laughed a little bit because I obviously haven't been doing these so often, and I really would like to, but it just more so comes down to me having something to say. In a way, this is kind of my version of a vlog, I suppose. So, you know, I don't know if I'll ever change up how this little show or video works. I was thinking of maybe just doing a regular, you know, webcam based vlog thing, so it would just be simple, just whatever, and talk into it. But I don't know that I want to do that. I'm not so sure. It might be more entertaining having gameplay footage in the background as I do here. And of course, moving on to that, we are looking at Chivalry, which I haven't really done a video for in some time. I think since the TGS Battle Royale. But I have been playing off and on, just trying to keep my skills sharp. Although those skills are slim to none at this point. I did play with a couple of friends recently, Rurikon and Pandora, and we actually were doing a good job triple teaming people. And it was very effective. We actually won every match that we had played. Of course, you know, they're pub matches, so that's not saying much, but a lot of fun. You know, Pandora was playing as an archer, softening up targets for Rurikon and myself to engage and finish off. We would just go in and distract single targets and then come up behind them, flank them, or just charge at them for a one-shot kill, and just really effective tactics there. I found myself kind of, you know, ordering them around a little bit, but in a nice way, of course. But just trying to, you know, cover flanks and just focus fire, if you will, on different people, and it was spot on. So I mean, you know, as with any game, teamwork is always key. It's just not the easiest thing for me to video or collaborate in, because there's a little bit more effort that goes into it, getting the audio levels and things correct. So it doesn't happen all the time, but hopefully in the near future there will be some more collaborations between me and my good friends on YouTube and perhaps other TGS personalities. We'll see. There's probably a few projects lined up that might be interesting, but we'll keep that news for another day, I suppose. So anyway, hopefully everybody is enjoying their holiday season. Steam sales have been going on, as well as, of course, other digital distribution websites that also provide Steam keys and whatnot have been throwing out their discounts. I didn't pick up too much. It hasn't been an amazing winter sale. Nothing to really write home about, I suppose. I did pick up Torchlight 2. But I had to actually get that through GameStop, which then gave me a Steam key because I had actually missed the flash sale at one point. So I picked that one up for $10. That's a fantastic game. That is definitely one for the books, because that's, as my buddy Rurikon says, the way Diablo 3 should have been, or that's what Diablo 3 should have been, to kind of quote him a little bit directly there. And I have to agree, it just feels like a more fluid, open world game. It's not as linear. There's the random area generation and world generation all over the place. It's not, you know, it's not limited or as linear as Diablo 3 feels. You know, it has its issues. It's not perfect, and I think they could probably do with some more patching, according to the community. But otherwise, it's a lot of fun. And I hope to do some cooperative play with that. I don't know if I'll film any of it. Maybe. We'll see. It could be something interesting. I'd have to gauge interest, of course. Because, you know, it's not exactly the newest game. But not that that matters to me. I just like to record whatever I'm enjoying at the time. I also picked up Saints Row the Third, which is an older one at this point. But it was so cheap. It was like $7.48 or something like that. I think I paid $8 because I had gotten one extra DLC. But for everything you got within that price, hours upon hours of gameplay and extra content. So I think that one's just for me kind of like a stress reliever. Jump in, run people over, take people out, just, you know, enjoy yourself 100%. Because I like the Grand Theft Auto games and whatnot, but this one, of course, is way more over the top, and sometimes you want to go from enjoying maybe something tactical to just going crazy in some other type of game, so that you don't feel so restricted at times. So, you know, it's definitely not the kind of game that I'm gonna go crazy over, but it's just something on the side to play. Who knows? There might be a silly version of me having fun with that video, as I do with Mountain Blade Warband. I've been thinking about 2 other games still. I think I want to get XCOM, which is on daily deal as of me doing this recording. It's 33% off. I know it was, I think it was even more on another website that gave a Steam key, but I still couldn't decide whether I'd like the game or not. And then I played the demo today, and I actually enjoyed myself, but I don't know. I mean, I've heard that one has its issues as well, but I am very tactical. You know, by nature, I do like placing units and covering flanks and arcs, and I'm pretty good in that department. You know, if I'm lacking in gameplay or twitch ability in a shooter, I know that I at least can think of a tactic pretty quickly in my head. And if I had a team to command, it could be an interesting situation. I think I've always enjoyed that type of thing. But so I'm thinking about XCOM. Not so sure. Maybe. I kind of wish the multiplayer was a little bit more fleshed out. I know right now you can just do some adversarial. It'd be cool if there was a bigger cooperative system to where maybe you could play with a buddy and control units against an AI or 2 other people instead of just 1v1, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's just 1v1. I'm not sure. But that's what I've seen so far. So there's that. I've also been thinking about Far Cry 3. Obviously, a lot of you have been suggesting that one to me, and who hasn't been suggesting that one? I know that one's doing very well. It's a stellar game. I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about it. The only complaint, of course, is the fact that the cooperative play isn't the exact same as the single player. The cooperative, I guess, is just, standalone, separate story missions with various other characters, and it's a little similar to Left 4 Dead in terms of gameplay mechanics. But, I have to say, I and many other people that I've spoken to wish that you could do everything that you can in single player, enjoy that single player open world experience with a friend or 2, That's what people want. The same thing for Skyrim. You want to have those sandbox games cooperative. You want to be able to bring in a buddy, a couple of buddies, maybe even, just say like a 4-player, maximum. And that would just be fantastic. To just imagine playing Far Cry 3. And I've seen so many videos of it, here and there. And in a way, you could enjoy it as a survival experience. Like, all right, let's go do this, or I'll meet you here. Let's, flank around this guy and take him out. I mean, the game is built in a way that it just screams for co-op in that main single player, and really, sure, you could say that maybe there's some sort of technical limitation to it, or maybe something they didn't want to budget. I don't know. It would have taken longer. I would wait. I would wait 6 months or more for that. How long is it going to take to really get that to work? I mean, that's the thing. Is it because of certain scripting events? What kind of elements are preventing, a cooperative experience from happening? I just don't know. I mean, if somebody has a logical explanation other than the fact that they just didn't feel like doing it, I don't know. Somebody give it to me, because I think the game's making enough money. That's something that we need to see. The same can really be said for Skyrim, a game like that, or any game of that nature. Just, you gotta have these cooperative experiences within the sandbox world, because that's typically why people play MMOs. But if you think about an MMO, half the time you find a clan or a group of friends. In my case, I would just try to get my friends together, try being the very key word. Doesn't always happen, doesn't always work out, and we would just want to hang out with each other, like 4 or 5 people, and just go on missions, do quests, or hit dungeons and whatnot. And that's all we would want. That kind of old school Dungeons and Dragons experience where it's just a small party. But if you think about that, why should you have to pay $15 a month to enjoy that type of experience? And it's not even that great. But imagine if you could do that in Skyrim. Imagine if you could do that in Far Cry. In a way, I mean, that would almost, to me, make MMOs obsolete in a way, because that's really all I do. I don't really join large raids, with 20 plus people. It's just, that's not what I'm into really. It's in the PvP, yeah, sure, I enjoy some of those elements, and I think that would be the only thing that I would be missing from such an MMO. But I just really, have to stress co-op in these big sandbox games, because it's getting to the point where we're entering 2013 and still, I don't know, technology today seems capable. I can't think of a good excuse as to why not, other than, again, cost or development time or difficulty in programming. Not sure. So there is that. Hopefully we'll see some new progress with that in future games. Obviously, they're going to want to do more with Far Cry because it's doing so well. Other than that, I think that's it as far as things that I might look at actually purchasing. Oh, but I have to say that Ubisoft, in your Uplay system, I hate you. I hate you more than you can possibly imagine. Really, again, they're following in the footsteps of EA with their Origin service, which is a useless freaking application that shouldn't exist. It shouldn't, because all it is a way to purchase the game and earn EA more profit. I mean, that's all it is. And Uplay, same thing. I mean, if you buy a Ubisoft game on Steam, Assassin's Creed 3 or Far Cry 3 or whatever, Anno 2070, it's going to launch. You launch it on Steam, it's going to launch Uplay. Then you have to log in through Uplay and use a completely different ID to then play your game. That's just ridiculous. And those are some reasons there that I've always had a major grudge against Ubisoft and EA. Those publishers, unfortunately, they have control of some really great franchises. But boy, oh boy, do I not like them. Oh, I really don't. I really, really don't. Their tactics are just unbelievable. And I just hope it stops one day. And I keep saying that and wishing it, but I just know it's not going to happen. Or what are they going to do? That's how they make money. And then you have the good guy publishers like THQ suffering because they don't pull stuff like that. Well, maybe they'll start. Hopefully they won't, because they've got some nice titles under their belt, and I'd like to see them succeed. Or I'd like to see just more independence coming out with games that make me not even want to look at what Ubisoft or EA push out. And I think that's the thing, is that unfortunately they still manage to get me after all these years, and just hating them to no end. It never ceases. They've always got something. There's always a next Battlefield. Or Ubisoft, who for the most part hasn't had anything for a while, because obviously they destroyed my Tom Clancy games, manages to come out with a winner with Far Cry 3, which I'd like to pick up. I almost bought Anno 2070, which is like that sci-fi city world builder game, but I looked it over. Wasn't too interested in certain things, and then the Uplay thing just kind of made me completely ignore it. So Far Cry 3, I think I'm going to have no choice. I'm going to eventually have that game. It's just right now I've been focusing on so many other things. But anyway, moving right along. I've been enjoying Black Ops 2 hardcore mode specifically. I've been playing some Search and Destroy, because in that mode there is no respawn, and I think no respawn in games is amazing, because once you take somebody out, they're done, and that's it. Play smart then. Don't get shot in the first place. That's your own fault. And I think in some ways that's the way it should be, although I don't mind playing with respawns in certain games once in a while, just to switch things up a little bit. I am disappointed, however, in the fact that in hardcore mode there are fewer gameplay modes. For example, I think there's only Kill Confirmed, Capture the Flag, Search and Destroy, and Team Deathmatch. Whereas in core mode, there's, 9 or 10 different modes, perhaps, that you can choose to play through public match. Now, if you play just with friends locally, or just against bots or whatever, if you want to make your own game, and you can launch hardcore and play any of the modes, domination and hardpoint and whatnot. And I think some of those modes would be perfect for hardcore. Why not? I mean, I just don't get it. So if anybody has an answer as to why the hardcore modes don't support those other games in public matching, throw it down in the comments, because I'm confused. I should probably look it up and see what's going on with that, because that just seems like a bag of silly. More modes equals win. But yeah, I am liking Black Ops 2. I play it my way, and it's fun. I try to play it as tactical and slow-paced as possible, and I seem to do okay in hardcore mode. I'm not amazing, but I have fun with it, and that's the whole point of gaming in general. But there is that. Other than that, enjoying a little bit of Hawken, not too much, but you'll still see some videos come out there. I plan to make that one of the steady titles that you see, because it's again, it's free to play. You can jump in real quick, get into a mode, capture some footage, get in, get out, and it's a blast. I think it's fun to watch, and who doesn't love giant robots or mechs and things like that. MechWarrior Online's a little different because they still have issues with that windowed mode garage, and it's just a pain in the neck. So I don't know how much more of that I'm going to record. I'm a little disappointed with that, and they seem kind of stubborn about changing that type of thing, so we'll see how that goes. Planetside 2, of course, again, still I find to be just a difficult game to record due to finding different types of action. So I will continue that one, but we'll see how that goes. It's one of those games that I do enjoy, but it is all about playing with a team, and I don't know. I feel like I don't necessarily have that kind of time or patience at right now to be able to deal with joining a unit or something, or even people have suggested that I create one. I just don't have time for that. I don't think. I mean, there are people obviously more. I want to say there are people busier than myself that of course have units in Planetside that manage to do it, but I suppose. In a way, they're also managed by other people as well. So I don't know. It kind of depends on that too. We'll see. Who knows what the future holds. Finally, I think a little bit in the zombie world. Obviously, this is always a hot topic. No, I am not going to play War Z. I'm not going to take another look at it. I have no interest in it. I don't like the developer. I don't think that they deserve to be developers at this point. I don't like how they've treated the community. I think they've created rubbish. I think they're liars and scam artists, and they don't deserve anybody's money, and I'm not going to go back to that game. I don't care what they do to it at this point, but I'm definitely boycotting that title. It's just unacceptable. Unacceptable. It's just unbelievable that they think that they can get away with this. So I'm not touching that game. If you enjoy it, good for you. Not my cup of tea. DayZ, however, I have a bit more respect for the guys at Bohemia Interactive, Rocket and his team. And I always wish them well. You've heard this from me before, so hopefully that goes well. But it is on hiatus. I will take a look at it once Standalone comes out, but until then, kind of taking a break from it because it's just there's nothing to do in the game. It's an unfinished mod. There's just nothing to do. I've run out of things to talk about. Me and Elbrook can only go so far in it. It's just game over for that one for now. So that's that. And I keep getting suggestions from many of you in regards to the Wasteland mod. Not really that interested. I'm not going to take a look at it at this point in time. It might change. I don't know, but please stop suggesting it because I don't really want to look at it right now. I'm kind of taking a break from the Arma engine in general because it in itself is kind of frustrating, and that's part of the problem I have with DayZ is just dealing with the cumbersome engine and the bad UI elements and things like that. So right now, not really wanting to take a look at that. So we'll see what happens in the future, but no promises as far as that's concerned. But anyways, I think that about covers what I wanted to talk about today. If you could please check me out on Twitter and Facebook if you have those social networking apps or services, whatever you want to call them. Facebook.com/SideStrafe and Twitter.com/SideStrafe as well. Links are always in the description below for every video. Again, I'm not forcing anybody to use them because I know some people are anti-social networking. But if you have them and you like to keep on top of things, news updates, status updates, whatever from me, then that is the #1 way to do it. They are very convenient. I feel that in a way Facebook, the Facebook page is better than having a website because all my videos get posted there. I can post polls. I can respond to comments easier. You know, it's just, yeah, I feel I never needed a website, you know, just because Facebook and Twitter do everything I need them to. And the YouTube channel page does what it should as well, although it doesn't. I think the YouTube channel page could be utilized a bit better. I think they need to allow me to be able to keep more in touch with the community. If it had some of the features that like Facebook had, it would almost be the perfect thing. But, you know, right now, I just want it to work properly, because half the time they change something, and, you know, I just want to be able to upload videos fast. I want them to look good and perform well. So that is that. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on the next one.